I'll come back. 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 I'll come back.
Oh my god. The talking cars are back for Chevron commercials?
What?
I remember those.
What are
They're back.
I didn't grow in that area of the United States. What are you talking about?
We're just waiting for the commercials to stop to make sure we're live and our sound is working. This is a long ad. Very long.
You're a long.
Lol. Oh, I seem to be working. Prophet Fire tells us we are live and working, which I love to hear.
All right.
And you made the announcement and all that good jazz. That's exciting. No kidding. I couldn't tell.
Sauced on the Barcast? What are you talking about? 5, 4, 3, 2, cut. Hello and welcome to the Barcast, where the bar gets lower every single week. Your bartenders for this evening are Anon Pencil, Enigmatic Goober,
No.
Milk Goober,
Yes.
Random Ass Goober,
Who the hell is that?
and I'm a Flutter Goober. We're all goobers today. But this week, we have a special guest, other than noting that we are returning back to doing interviews because scheduling is hard. We have brought someone very special on, requested by our Discord channel. If you guys want to request guests that we have on in the future, please go to our Discord channel and recommend someone. But this week, we have RunicTreetops.
Hello, that's me.
Runic, it's nice to have you here. I feel like I see you in the feature box like every month.
I hear that a lot.
Truth and facts.
For those who are tuning in for the very first time, welcome. If you want to catch up on previous episodes like interviewing John Delancey, Andrea Libman, Dusty Cat, many more Brony community guests, check out our YouTube channel. We're also streaming live on Twitch right now, which means that the lovely Anon Pencil is watching our chat for questions. Pencil, what are questions we don't ask our guest?
Well, at this point, all of you should be fairly regular, but if you're new, we don't ask our guests personal questions that can get them doxxed, things like their social security number, their place of business. I mean, we don't ask them that either. What the shit? No. Good God.
I'm so sorry.
God damn it, Flam! Fuck off! We do swear. Our guest is comfortable with rated R language today, so that's something you can do. If you harass our guest, I will ban you. You should know how to do this by now. Behave, have fun, ask questions in the chat and in the thread. I'll post a link to the thread as well, so any of you can get last-minute questions in.
In addition, go ahead.
I was going to say, hey, priest, did I understand that we have a drinking word today?
We do, Anon Pencil. In fact, we have a very fun one. I am very excited to announce that this Barcast, the drinking word is Anon. So if you hear Anon Pencil, if we start talking about Anon stories, we're going to get into it. We're going to start drinking, and we're going to have a lovely time. But with all that said and done,
no, it's not. Oh, whoa. Very important. Please drink responsibly. Do not take large shots. Please do not go to the hospital. Again, we don't want that. Please drink responsibly.
That's right. The lawyer text.
Yes, now we can go on.
Hire the Eagle team. So, let's get to some actual questions. Runic, for those who may not know who you are, let's start with a basic introduction. Who are you and what do you do for the fandom?
Well, I'm an author on FemFiction. I write the pony words, the horse words. That's all I've done. I do the writing. People like it. That's it. That's my MO.
Awesome. Well, then, how did you get into the Brony fandom? How did you get into MLP?
I don't remember. I've been around for a very long time, even I've only became active recently. Been around since midway through season 2. I off and on with engagement, but I never really made any content until last year. So
So how did you get introduced to the show? Was like My Little Pony always a part of your life? Were your friends watching it and were like, "Hey, check this out"? Was there like a stir on whatever internet forum you're on, and you're like, "All right, I gotta check this out for myself"? What was the allure of the show?
I think I remember someone I was watching on YouTube just did some random episode review once. I don't remember who it was or what even they were reviewing. It was just general cultural osmosis because, at the time, you couldn't go 2 feet without finding a pony somewhere online.
No, that's true. That 2012 area was notorious for having ponies everywhere. So then let's talk a little bit more about the fandom then. What do you consider to be your favorite part of the fandom? The online community, fan fiction, cons, music, art. In short, what keeps you here?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I don't think there's any part of the community I dislike too much beyond the parts that you shouldn't be engaged with. I thought it was neat that there was it was the first time I'd seen like a huge online community that was very much centered around one particular thing. The fact that it happened to be the candy colored horses was kind of funny to me. And I just kind of delved into that. I do the writing. I listen to the music. I watch the animations. Um, all of it, I suppose.
That's really fair. So I got a couple questions still. Since G4 is over and Gen 5 seems to be in kind of a weird limbo-y spot where the Hasbro's has been saying it hasn't been performing as well as they would like. Where do you think the show and us as a community go from here?
Well, the show will probably keep going on as long as there's money to be made. Whether that's G5 taking a different form or G6 happening, I couldn't tell you. I'm certainly no businessman. I'm sure the community will be here. It's definitely smaller than it used to be, but the fact that it's still around now, I think, is proof that it's still going to keep being here. People are going to keep making what they want to make. I've enjoying G5, even if it isn't a strange spot, and I'll probably enjoy what comes next too.
Very fair.
But speaking of, since I know that you've seen G5, well, who is your favorite of G5 and why is it Misty?
Well, that's a weird way of pronouncing Pip.
Get fucked,
And,
Enigma.
I think it's because she's funny.
She's funny.
But Pip's the Misty though.
I mean, no shade on Misty. I don't think there's a G5 main character that I dislike too much. I just don't know I don't know how much I have to say about her.
She's a precious bean, a treasure. She must be protected at all costs. Meanwhile, Pip is over there, just I don't know, selling hoof picks on only hooves.
I'd buy them.
Why not? Just buy them. Have them. They'll be around.
Yeah.
Next.
I'd buy Pip's hoof picks.
If there's one thing you could say broadly to your followers or fans, what would it be?
I appreciate all of you. I write because I think it's fun, and the fact that people are enjoying it, gives me reason to keep doing it beyond the fact that it's fun. I write for me. I publish for you.
Aw.
Great
That's
way
so
to say it.
sweet. Aw,
right.
so nice.
gay. No, I'm kidding.
Final question before we start taking from Twitch and going to our thread on FinFic. It's time to make some enemies. Who is best pony?
Ooh.
Yeah, it's gonna get nasty, right?
You gotta show your notes too.
I don't need to show my notes. I have 89 fan fictions dedicated to her ish. It's Celestia.
Now,
Ooh.
I'm gonna call you on something here. It would, based on your fix, it's definitely Celestia. However, you seem to have a certain affinity for Bug Pony Lady too, don't you?
I adore her. She's very fun to write.
How close is this comparison? How close is the running, really? I have to know.
It's not.
It's not close.
It's not close.
There are few ponies I dislike, but like you look at this list, you see Celestia here, and there's just like a mountainous gap before number 2.
I bet there is. Anyway,
It's so funny because Celestia not only is a fan favorite, like princesses are pretty much up there always, but there's so many different headcanons for what kind of Celestia it is. Obviously, there's the Molestia. There's like eating cake all the time. Like in your headcanon, what is Celestia? Is Celestia an actually like fun person that's trying to, keep up regal appearances? Is she obsessed with sweets?
Celestia is a lot of things. I think that's a fun part about her. I always feel like it's weird when people say, "Oh, like Celestia was serious." No, Celestia was goofy. She was both of those things. Celestia is old. She's been around for a long time. She's presumably wise, not necessarily beyond her years because she's been around that long, but like she knows how to be a princess. She knows how to rule a nation. And in doing so, as we learn in the later season, she is good at putting on appearances. And also she's bored and likes cake.
and loves fucking with the help.
It's not exactly professional to, make pancakes for your sister and laugh about the Smooze destroying a ball like in front of people when you're doing your job. That doesn't mean she doesn't enjoy doing it.
Do you think she would have been excited if homicides happened in that ball?
I'm sorry?
Do you think she would have been excited if homicides happened during that ball?
I don't think so. I guess it depends who died.
Yeah, hold on. That's actually fair. Because I don't see Celestia being like, woohoo, death! But, I mean, are there exceptions?
It would be it would be a murder mystery thing. She could be down with that.
If the Smooth just fucking died, if the Smooth just fucking perished, I bet she'd be like, mm-hmm.
I could see her, like, a murder happened, and she's like, oh, I want to investigate this because I never did it before. And she just botches it.
She can cross that off her retirement list. It's like, well, that's one less thing I can do now. Deal with the Smooth. But no, like, to the point, it's just like, the fact that she's such a well-fleshed-out character with so many aspects, she's almost human in a lot of ways, and that's really well said.
Love the way you lingered over aspect. Good job.
It's almost like it was intentional.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, Runic, which Celestia booty do you like more? Season 1, 2, 3? Because it does get bigger.
Big as it gets. Whichever, I haven't done my research. Whichever one's the biggest.
Bendy has entered the chat.
Bendy would have many things to say about this, but it's probably better to move along.
Yeah.
We've got our first question from Twitch, indicating that we are, in fact, on the internet. Pat Vandemoose asks, measured in metric fuck tons, how big is your metaphorical peen?
In metric fuck tons?
Yes.
Like I don't know.
Fractions and exponents are acceptable.
1/10.
Very, very good.
1/10 of a metric fuck ton. That's a pretty big peen. Congratulations.
It's
sure.
It's a reasonable fuck ton.
Yes, a completely believable amount of fuck ton.
All right, we've got our thread out on FimFic. I'm refreshing. We have plenty of room out here for questions, everyone. I know we've got 11 people watching right now, at least, that are signed in on Twitch. You are more than welcome to add more questions to the thread. We're going to have plenty of time today. Alex _ is just excited that we're back, so yay. RK Striker JK5 is up first with his signature questions. What is your favorite non-MLP franchise?
Pokemon probably.
Uh-oh, you are among your people in this chat. Be prepared for the questions that will follow.
Not me. I'm Digimon.
All right. What generation?
3.
3.
3.
Man.
Interesting choice. That's unexpected.
3 was the first generation I skipped because I was really deep into Gold, Silver, and Crystal. But I hear Emerald is just so good.
So when I was a wee lad, my parents wanted to get me Crystal and could not find a copy anywhere, and so I had to wait, and I didn't get anything until Emerald, and that is my favorite video game to this day.
So if someone had to pick up from 3, would you recommend just going straight to Emerald, or?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay. All right. That's good to know. I have an emulator with it loaded up. I just haven't started it yet.
I would recommend Emerald over the remakes.
Really?
Yep. Remakes over the originals, but Emerald over the remakes.
All right. Choose your starter Pokemon.
Torchic.
Torchic? Really? Up to Blaziken. Why?
Funny fire chicken. Firefighting wasn't overdone yet. If you want a more interesting answer, I really like Poplio all the way from Gen 7.
Oh, that's fair. That's really fair, actually.
Would you name your Torchic Scootaloo?
Hadn't considered it. Yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to that.
What are your thoughts on Legends Arceus?
I'd like a sequel with more defined game mechanics. I thought it was really enjoyable, but you know what? Actually, scratch that. Just give me Arceus again, but completely remove all of the side quests involving the dojo that requires you to grind stupid Pokemon to level 100 with very specific IVs to even stand a chance.
Yes. Okay. Yes. That whole end game felt really tacked on, and I completely agree. I'm not a fan of the post game content, but I was actually here's my hot take. I actually think that Legends of Arceus is a really good direction for just the entire series to go in. Just entirely. Like, keep the main games running fine, but have that be like the main set aside games. Screw Let's Go. Pokemon Go is fine. More Legends games, please.
If they remake Mystery Dungeon 2, I'll be a happy camper.
I never played those.
Oh, God, I cannot recommend them more.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna throw those in my emulators then. All right, I have segued us long enough. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay, because there was one of our chatters wanted to ask something about it too. I've put that in the behind the counter. So I'll just, I'll step across that gap that we're being so wholesome about and say, hey, who's the most fuckable Pokemon?
It can't be Vaporeon.
I wasn't gonna say Vaporeon because that guy Pasta's lame. There's way better ones. Equally so, Ditto's a cop-out answer, so I'm not gonna say Ditto.
Mm-hmm.
You're really putting me on the spot here. So many to choose from.
I mean, is it Lopunny? Let's be honest here.
Lopunny's definitely up there.
I mean, up there, yes.
Or Gardevoir?
Gardevoir's too easy.
I bet you.
He wants a challenge for his.
A challenging fuck. You want a challenging fuck? Ooh.
Primarina.
So one more time. Say that again.
Primarina. Final evolution of Poplio.
It's a mermaid-looking one.
I know the one. I mean, where Hole? Where is Hole?
We'll find out, won't we?
I guess we will. But she's got a mouth. I mean, that's a start. Okay, acceptable. Acceptable.
I shall make one.
Apparently, someone has collected the top 10 most fuckable Pokemon according to Pokemon Smasher Pass based on all the ratings.
Oh no. So this is actually a good sample size. Fuck.
And
Yeah.
is
I
it?
mean,
I'd like to see
I'll
him.
just
The-
enter my weird take Mega Bennett.
All right. Read them from 10th to 1.
Yeah, I want to hear the 10 most fuckable
Well,
Pokemon.
the top
no.
5 are not. The top 5 are
Let's-
not surprising.
Yeah, let's see the top 10 and let's see if Runic agrees, because Runic seems very knowledgeable on this. Let's get Runic's take on the most fuckable Pokemon, according to the world.
Okay. Number 1 is Lopunny.
Low hanging fruit.
2 is Ditto.
Also low hanging fruit.
3 is Gardevoir.
Again, of course, because it's basically a human with extra steps.
Yes. 4 is Salazzle.
Yeah, pheromone Pokemon.
And 5 is Vaporeon.
That is due exclusively to a meme.
This is when things begin to get a little controversial. We have Tisarena up next.
Would.
All right. We have Braixen.
I mean, yes, but also it's like the most stereotypical furry Pokemon they've made.
This one's genuinely shocking to me, but I get it. Pheromosa.
Yeah. Again, it's that is a human woman with slightly strange proportions.
It is like Kafka's
Bug Lady.
Metamorphosis, but fuck.
Bug Lady. It is Bug Lady.
The first male on the list, arguably,
There's a male?
Cinderace.
I mean,
so surprised.
male is take it or leave it, but it doesn't matter to me.
I'm so surprised that's higher on the list than something like Mewtwo. Just putting that out there. Go on.
Number 10, beating Lucario.
Damn, dude.
Weeping Bell.
What? No. What? No.
I on one hand, I know why Weepinbell is there. On the other hand, I'm a little leery about the plant it's based on.
Look, show the Weeping Bell on stream. Show the image so people can understand why everyone wants to fuck it.
Look, everybody knows why this thing is on that list. Everybody knows why.
Hear me out. I think I know why this is Lucario. Because Lucario, if you go on E621, has so much porn. It's not funny.
Can we get a statistical number count between the two?
This is a dick sucking list.
I think a lot of people started Pokemon Smasher Pass like on the website, and then did the top 151 and stopped.
You think so?
That is what I'm betting.
Okay.
And so that's why it beat Lucario.
I think people just gotta think for dick sucking lips.
I feel like I arguably feel like Smasher Pass would be more interesting with just the original 151. I'm certainly no Gen 1er, but there's a whole lot less human woman in Gen 1. There's like what? Jinx? I want to see some weird shit.
Mr. Mime. There's Mr. Mime.
Jinx is not exactly on my list.
She's got dick sucking lips too, but we should move on.
Yeah, it's probably about that time. We've spent an uncomfortable amount of time on fucking Pokemon. So let's go to the Prophet Ice in the thread. If there are questions that I've skipped, I am very sorry. Why write so much Celestia? Why Celestia?
Pretty.
Pretty.
No, there's so much writing potential with her. Like as we discussed a little bit earlier, there's so many facets of her character that could be explored, and there's so much about her that like the show didn't and likely wouldn't have any way like gone into. Like there's a whole holiday called Nightmare Night that's been around for presumably a long time, celebrating what was likely one of the most traumatic moments of her life.
Oh yeah.
Or
make
how about the
trauma
idea that, like, you know, she's 1,000 years old, so she could be a little stuck in some of her beliefs, and everyone will see it as wisdom when it might not be the best idea.
Truth.
So, just because I want to make sure we follow back, Priest, did you ask if Runic has ever done anything for a non-MLP franchise?
I did not. Oh.
Yay!
All right. So, in terms of creative content, have you only written for Pony, or have you done any content for a non-MLP franchise?
Unless you count the crossover fix I've done with Pony, no, I have not.
Wow.
Ooh.
So you are a My Little Pony exclusive, is what I'm hearing.
I'm pretty new to all this, to be honest.
Aw, I mean, when did you join? Technically, when did you join FimFiction?
Technically, I joined around I think April of last year, whenever I was writing my original royalty series. I didn't really become known, air quotes, until the beginning of this summer, back in I think this April when I finished that series, because that was when my real life had a bit of a turning point, and I had a lot more free time to write, and I wrote a lot. So
you are proper fresh, like really proper fresh.
As far as writing goes, yeah, absolutely.
Wow. Oh, so you've had a really interesting rise to major success then, which is really wonderful.
It was unexpected, not necessarily unappreciated, but definitely a surprise.
So do you think you are going to write anything for non-MLP franchises in the future then?
Maybe. I write when I get ideas, and if I get an idea for a non-MLP franchise, I don't know, maybe.
I think there's a lot of truth there. Like, I could 100% see, like, let's say the rumors become true one day and Genfic all of a sudden happens.
I mean, that'd be cool, but
I could
press X to doubt.
Oh yeah, same. Press X to doubt. But I could 1,000% see, like, Sentinel, like, all right, time to do hell of a boss. Let's go. It's time. We're gonna write in hell about demons. Let's do it.
You know, the day Genfic ever actually did happen or will happen, the feature box is literally just going to be anime shit.
I mean, probably. In all likelihood.
I will see to it that the Genfic feature box still has Anon X Pony fix.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
This is a joke.
Doing God's
Don't
work.
take me seriously.
No. Now you've committed to it, so you have to do it. This is your responsibility now.
You know what?
You have
I will do it. I'll lead the charge.
Okay.
You know
Okay,
what?
good.
Speaking of Anon, I'm deviating from the thread questions again, but I'm personally vested and interested here because I freaking love Anon writers. What led you to start writing with Anon as a character?
So, believe it or not, even though they're tagged as such, I didn't really start writing with Anon.
Mhm.
My original series, the royalty series, the protagonist in my mind when I was writing it was meant to be the purest form of a self-insert, which to many people is what Anon is. But I never referred to the protagonist as Anon until some of the last few works in it. They were only referred to as they. They were never described physically beyond, I think, tall, maybe. I was very much about, like, this could be any given reader of any given background, like, whatever. This could be anyone. And it wasn't until I got a lot of feedback saying, A, just call them Anon, it's easier, and B, tag them as Anon, because otherwise this is a bit confusing. Specifically when I wrote a fic that, for the first time, wasn't in second person, and this character was still in it, and was still unnamed, and it led to some confusion. And that it kind of broke the ice for me. And then I was like, all right, sure, Anon.
Fair enough. Had you been reading stories from other Anon writers, or?
Yes. I haven't since I started writing out of fear of potentially accidentally plagiarizing. I don't want to like subconsciously steal someone's idea. But back before I wrote, I did, yes.
Okay. Do you have any particular authors that you would recommend? And no, this is not me trying to get you to show for me. I'm actually just like really curious. There's some really talented ones out there.
Well, the problem was at the time I didn't I hadn't expected myself like becoming a writer or like becoming known to any capacity, so I wasn't really paying attention to who the
One of
authors
us.
were.
One of us. One of us.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, it's great. You created yourself kind of in a vacuum, and now you're stuck with us. Get fucked, scrub.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Up next, what is from the Prophet Ice #2? What is your ideal Celestia? Personality traits, character development, that sort of things.
Everything that is canon. Having I feel like I've shown this in a lot of my own works. Like the way that Celestia is written depends on the situation she's in. Like for a lot of times, especially in some of my one shots, she's very silly, but that's because the situation she's in is with Anon in a very casual, like romantic setting. Like, oh, Anon and Celestia are stuck in what is basically the back rooms. Like that's a time to bring out her more like she's silly, she's a bit insecure. That's fine. But then, like a story about her dealing with the trauma of everything that happened with Luna, or like having to do princess duties and act as a mentor to Twilight, then she's more serious. I haven't done a whole lot of longer form works with her in them. But my ideal Celestia would be all of those things, but knowing when she acts in specific ways, I suppose.
Fair enough. Up next. Ooh, it's a spoiler question. #3.
A spoiler question, yeah.
Do you play any video game?
Oh, good question.
Yes, I play many video game.
How many video game? How much video?
Put a number on it.
Oh gosh. Open my Steam library. Well, I got 371 in Steam and probably, I don't know, maybe 200-ish physical, so around there.
Oh, I'm scared. You've made me want to go take a look at what my current number is for our Steam library, and I don't want to know right now. What is your favorite game?
Pokemon Emerald. I think I said that earlier. If you want a more interesting answer, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is up there.
Okay.
Any reason particularly for that one?
I bought it on a whim and it sucked me in, and I didn't put it down for like 300 hours. I really like it.
You got caught up.
Yeah. There are others kind of like that, of course. Like I like Persona 5. I like Stardew Valley. I like Deep Rock Galactic.
Stardew.
The best kind of games are the ones you don't know they're going to be your favorites. Let's be honest.
Oh yeah.
Those are always just a delight.
Yeah, that was exactly what Xenoblade was. I had money. I walked into the store. It was on sale. I was like, sure. And God, I love that game.
I have had people recommend that game to me, but I have not gotten the opportunity to try it yet. I hear it's good though.
You better have the time to dedicate to it. It's fun, but it doesn't let go for a while.
Oh, it eats you. It's one of those ones that just absolutely eats you.
Oh yeah.
It's
well,
like
for me at least.
Like Suika.
It's kind of like Persona.
Very much like Persona.
Joe Electine is up next, who says, "These are my thoughts. What is your next story arc?"
That kind of technically my next story. It's not really an arc. Is my 100 story, which is I'm currently working on that. The I have 2 arcs I'm working on. One is the Hermit series, which I've had the 3rd entry cooking for a while. I'm waiting on some art I had commissioned to be the cover art. That one's going to be all about what Celestia did after Opaline rose to power. I'll probably need to rewrite some of that actually now that Chapter 6 came out. And then the other one is Passing Skies, which is the sequel to the Royalty series, the first series I've ever wrote, which is currently sitting at like 200k words, by far the longest thing I've ever written. So that's going to be a hot minute till that sees the light of day.
Fair enough. Are you going to do a collab with someone?
I don't typically do collabs. Not the only reason being that I don't want to be the weak link.
It sounds to me like you don't trust yourself nearly enough as a writer. You gotta, buddy, take a look at your popularity. Like, you're doing something right.
It's absolutely true.
I thank you for one. I mean, perhaps I guess I'm doing something that people like, and I'm glad people like it.
I'm supposed to be the insecure fanfic writer, not you.
No, you should be proud. You've been working very hard. It shows. And in a time where fanfic isn't getting nearly as much traffic, you are making major headway. If you were to do a collab with anyone, believe me when I say you are very unlikely to be the weak link here. You've proven you have work ethic, which generally in collabs is the biggest problem. So
absolutely true.
Thank you. I'm I don't know. We'll see. It's so hard for me to like vocalize my thoughts on that. Like I don't. It's hard for me to say it in a way that doesn't sound like, whoa, why would I collab with someone? Like I don't want it to seem like that's my reasoning. I am a scared child.
Well, if there was, just to ask, is there anyone you'd actually probably like to do a collab with? Like, if you've interacted with other writers, is there anyone that you'd consider working with? No is always okay if you're just like, nah, everyone's dicks. But there you go.
Sure. Perfectly Insane. Really like their stuff.
Ooh.
I hope I'm not mispronouncing their stuff. Erniaster, I think is how you pronounce it.
Ariaster, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I really like their writing.
Well, if any of them are watching today, you've heard it here.
All right. Up next, the question is: will there be more audiobooks to voice over your stories, besides Straight to the Point Studio? Which my experience with Straight to the Point Studio is you don't actually reach out to them and ask like, "Hey, will you do this for me?" They kind of have a moment that fancies them. And they're like, "I like this story. I'm going to narrate it."
Oh yes.
Yeah. I noticed that they did just kind of start covering my stories at one point, and I was so flattered.
They're a great bean. Like they've got a good thing going for them. I don't know if I'm not sure what their process is. Sometimes it seems like it's just the feature box stories, but they got a good thing going. So props to them. So I think the question is there any interest down the line to like reach out and do like a pro like audio narration of one of your stories?
For me, as the person starting it, no. I don't really write the stories to be consumed outside of being a story. Like again, I'm very flattered about the audiobooks. There were also a few readings by what is their name? Mystery Pony Fiction, I think they did a few of mine. And they did reach out to me, and I gave them permission because I'm flattered that people want to do it at all. People can do whatever they want with my writing. I don't care. But I
Careful
don't
saying
think
that. Careful. Beware.
Asterisk. But yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be the one to like reach out and ask people to do readings or anything like that.
Oh, I think that's really fair. There's a lot of very talented independent VAs out there that love to show off their. I think it's unfair to say imitation. Just like
Their pipes.
their pipes, their ability, especially if a story has like a song or something like that, where they can take some creative freedom and show off those abilities. Like that's really cool. But it's in general, audio narration is just so much work. It's a ton of work. Even if you're doing something silly, isn't that right, Flamin and Anon?
Oh yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Thanks for that.
Yes, you were correct.
There's still a comment on that video that every time I see it, I die inside.
I'm surprised that's all that happens.
Oh no! Like the comment is something like, "Who came here to, who came to watch this video to hear a non-pencil make orgasm noises?" I'm like, oh, good. That's
That's
fine.
Yeah, but you know someone fapped to that story.
Oh, I know. That's something you have as a writer, and I'm sure RunicTreetops has accepted this at this point. At some point, someone is going to fap to your story, and it's probably going to be one you never intended anyone to fap to. It's just going to happen, and there's nothing you can do about it, so you just have to kind of accept it and tell yourself, well, at least somebody's happy.
I just actively don't think about it.
I just actively think about it.
All right. Up next. Next question. I would see some fantastical fan arts about your characters. Example: Anon in many appearances, world building, landscaping, OCs, Anon's new friends, and his kins. So is this saying is someone actively making fan art of your stories, Rick? Because that's really cool. If so,
I hope that's
not that I know of. If they are, wow, I'm extremely flattered. I haven't seen any. I think I mentioned earlier I do have a commission in the works, which is the first time I've done that for the cover art of an upcoming story, but that's not really fan art because I'm commissioning it. Otherwise, not really. I mean, I've posted art in my comments in the sort, and I didn't exactly verify them, but considering they seemed a bit more general, I doubt they were fan art for my works and more just art related to the stories.
No, that's fair. And there's a lot of very talented non-artists out there, whether it's like Shinoda GE, TJ Pones. Who else is a good artist? Ravage.
Yep. Our very own.
Yep. It's been a while since.
Sorry, Rav, not trying to make you re.
But no, when you do get fan art, it's an awesome feeling. So I hope you do get more, if not additional. Also, thank you everyone for the hype train that's happening in Twitch right now. Deeply appreciate it. But we're going to keep going with the interview rather than hyping up the hype train. All right. Joe Lectine, have you considered opening a Patreon account to earn and give Mercy I Heart some plushies?
No. I hear this a lot. I'm very adamant about not making any money. I don't have a Patreon. I don't have a Ko-Fi or whatever that's pronounced. I don't do any of that. I don't want to make money off my writing because the second money is involved, I'm gonna get real stressed.
No,
I can understand that perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I'd actually like. Go ahead.
If you don't want your money, can I have it?
Enigma, no. Never mind. I can't believe I gave you the floor. Anyway, to piggyback off of that, the Prophet Fire in the chat asked, would you ever do commissions? And I'm guessing that also falls under the payment thing.
No, I would not. I have been open. I've made a few blogs about this before. I've done some requests just because sometimes I'm in the mood to write and I don't have an idea, and people will shoot their ideas at me. But I always add that with the asterisk of I'm not writing because it was requested. I'm writing because I like the idea, which is a little selfish of me. But no, if it's an idea I'm not into, I won't write it. And I'm terrified that if I try to do a commission, it wouldn't be good. Not. Then this isn't me like, oh man, I don't trust my own quality. It's if I'm not passionate about the writing, I don't think it's gonna be to the standard that my writing is typically at.
I completely understand that one. You want to write things that you can be proud of, and you can't always be proud of the prompts that you get.
Mm-hmm.
Reasonable,
I've-
totally
I've-
reasonable.
I've certainly been sent some strange requests, which
Who?
there's no bad ideas, but there are ideas I don't want to write.
Tell us one of the weirdest ones. I need to know.
Oh, there was like someone wanted like Sunset Shimmer like doing like a mind break of like the rest of the Equestria Girls cast or something like that. I was like, I don't think I'm the right type of author for this.
I mean, it sounds like something I would be asked to do, frankly. But no, like that doesn't seem your cup of tea in the least.
Which again, no bad ideas. Like by all means, if someone wants to see that, they want to see that, and that's a valid take. I'm just not the one to ask for it.
Yeah.
All right, and then now we're moving to the next questions from Bee Bunny. Sorry, my throat. What do you have to say to people who believe you are hogging the attention for? Oh, I have beef with this question. Okay, I'm gonna stay silent and just ask the question flatly. Okay, sorry, I had a moment. What do you have to say to people who believe that you are hogging the attention from other writers due to how frequently you appear on the feature page? Do you believe yourself to be some kind of chosen one due to how often you appear?
What?
I'm gonna address these questions separately. We'll do the first one first. I have addressed this once in a blog post a while ago because I was getting really self-conscious about this because this is probably the apart from me writing a whole lot of anon. Some people really don't like that.
Yeah, true.
This is definitely the most controversial thing about me. That basically everything I publish shows up in featured, and I don't there's no way for me to say that without it sounding so conceited, but that's just how it is. I write and it shows up in there a lot.
It's a statement of fact, and you're allowed to state facts.
Yeah. I get it. I do legitimately understand that criticism, especially from people that like publishing for the first or second time. They don't have a lot of followers. And I say myself as someone that I might sit down and I had a weird idea and I'll write a one shot that's like 1,500 words in like an hour and a half, and I put it up there and it's number 1, number 2 unfeatured for like 2 or 3 days. But then I see another fic that gets made and it's like 30,000 words of the most beautiful prose I've ever read in my life, and it's just, like it gets no attention. I get it. I do understand where that frustration comes from, and to an extent, I have also tried to take measures to kind of not be as in everyone's faces. Specifically, I wrote Sunshine and Tia to be an anthology series where I dump all of my Anon Celestia ideas because that's where 90% of my writing ideas are. That way, every time I get an idea, it isn't another story in the box. It's one place on the box near the bottom. And yeah, I get it. Especially, I think the biggest offender was back when I did write my Chrysalis trilogy way back when. All 3 of those stories were in the feature box at the same time, and I imagine from an outsider's perspective, where the non-updated section is 7 stories, I think 7, and half of them are mine in about like the same storyline. I get it. I get the frustration. And I'm sorry, I guess. Like there's
No.
much more I can
Don't be
say. I just
sorry.
keep writing.
Don't be sorry.
As for the second question, do I believe myself to be some kind of chosen one? Throw away everything I just said. Yes, I am. I'm the greatest writer to ever live.
Fuck yeah.
Fanfic is a means to an end. I am going to overthrow the government and replace it with one-shots about Celestia.
Hell yeah.
Thank you. I know Priest and I both have things to say about this, so Priest, you go right ahead.
So, okay. I'm going to stretch for a second because I try not to flex these muscles too much. But as someone who shares on the second page of most followed on FemFic with Flam and Warfer, which, by the way, Flam, you have 420 blog posts. You can't blog anymore.
Oh yeah, I keep everyone up to date on a lot of my followed stories. That's why I probably shouldn't do that, but I do anyway. So.
No. He's making a joke because no, Flam. He's making a joke because 420 blaze it.
Funny word, funny number.
Oh, sorry, I was too high to recognize that.
That's fair. I would say of probably the 177 stories that I currently have posted, maybe 20 didn't get featured. And on top of that, at one point in time, when I did a 24-hour write-a-thon with another writer, as a challenge to myself, I went to see how many spots on the feature box I could hold at one point in time. And I think I peaked at like 7, maybe 8.
I remember this.
And
Yeah.
people were pissed.
They were
Because
ass mad.
I had 2 of the spots for updated stories, and I had 5 or 6 of the new story spots. And all of them were like meme shit posts that were 100% just capitalizing on what the meme of the week was. They were not high quality by any means. I literally made them all in less than 6 hours. But all of this is to say that like the feature box is done entirely based on reader retention and the amount of people coming in to read your story. It is a very flat litmus test of, are people coming to click? Are you getting that initial click? And once they click, are they staying? And you can be an exceptionally talented author. You can have awesome prose. You can have, paid editors that come in and read everything. But if you can't get the first click and you can't get people to come in and stay and keep reading once they've got like 5 paragraphs deep, you've essentially failed the pitch meeting. Like that is like submitting your draft to an editor, but in the form of reading stuff online on the internet. And sadly, that's just kind of where our internet age is. Being in the feature box does not make you a good writer. Being in the feature box is not an indicator of how talented you are. And I think there's something to be said that if you can get readers to come click on your stories and stay and keep reading, that is its own talent. And congratulations to you. It is a tough talent to have and a tough talent to cultivate. But don't judge the worth of your writing based on how much success that you have. And that's very easy coming from a place of like, I have earned success. But some of the stories that I've put out on alts that never got any attention are some of the ones that I'm most proud of. And a perfect example case of this is Short Skirts and Explosions, who has like 5 different alts, plus that he hasn't even announced all the ones that he has, just to make sure that he's like, listen, I put this out. I know how he's very aware of the talent that they have as an author. And sometimes it's really nice to be like, how does this work against a what's it called? A blank slate where my reputation doesn't hold the piece up, Anyway, I have vented long enough. There's a lot of frustration in that question that I'm not going to get into. I don't think I would.
It's my turn. It's my turn.
Yes,
it's my turn. It's my turn. It's my turn. We all have things to say. Runic, you've opened a wonderful Pandora's box. Thank you for this.
Oh boy.
Okay. You see, unlike my esteemed colleagues, totally fine with sounding like a conceited bitch. So guess what I'm gonna do? I got so much shit for a while for being in the featured box because I was writing hot, steaming lump garbage, and I know I was.
It was glorious, okay?
I didn't spell check. I sort of did. I mean, a little bit. I didn't do a read-through. I was just pushing out these 1,000-word things out of my vagina right onto the page and being like, look at this. Look at this thing I birthed for you. And I had a great time. And I got shit because occasionally I'd have things in the feature box. I say occasionally. Eventually it was all the time. If I wrote something today, Doesn't matter what it was. I could write the grossest thing in the world. It would get into the feature box just because I have enough recognition now, not as much as Flam or Enigma even, or Priest. But it gets there. So I understand that a lot of people were frustrated with me, but here's the thing. I don't care that you're frustrated. This isn't about you. I'm writing things for FemFiction. I can write whatever I want. I can write as often as I want. I can write as often as they want. Anything I want to write within the rules, I can, and you can't stop me. You want to be in the feature box? Get good, scrub. I do not care. I'm not the chosen one, but guess what? I can still create things that get me there. If you can't, you taking out that jealousy on me, green is an ugly color on you, my friend. Do better.
Do you think that comment, this question was written with like contempt, frustration, or
I'm hoping this was facetious.
Mhm.
But either
like
way,
it was a joke?
Oh, I hope so. But either way, it's one of those things where if somebody's like, "Well, how dare you be in the feature box?" My response is, "How dare you not be a better writer? Fuck off!"
And I think it's only hit like this nerve because we have had people come up to like this to us unironically at conventions, no less, to our face about this sort of stuff.
Not to my face. No one dares.
Oh no, it's 100% to my face. Where they're
Yes,
like,
to your
"You
face.
got
No one dares."
3,000 followers, and what do you have to show for it?" It's like memes. Fuck off.
For real. I mean, at that point. And
And honestly, Runic, you should never be saying sorry for the fact that
Seriously.
other people aren't making it into the box. It's a system. Hate the system, not the game. But Runic, you're writing for this site. You are giving people your hard work and your words. It doesn't really matter the people who are upset about what you're putting out. Like you said, you're putting out things you're proud of, right?
Yes. If I'm not proud of it, I don't publish it.
there you go.
Then no one is owed an apology for you being in the feature box. Period.
Absolutely.
Full fucking stop.
Absolutely. And in fact, you should be more like that meme from The Office. Just like, you know what? I'm going to get in the feature box even harder. Like,
You know, just treat it, and honestly, just treat it like Twitter. The more people that are upset by it, hey, you know you succeeded.
and a couple things I'll really add to that is that this has been something that has gone on probably since the start of the site, I'd have to think.
Oh,
I've
yes.
seen this in so many forms, even when I was a wee bab on the site as well, back in 2012, 2013, Jesus. But all that to say, those of us who actually, made it to a lot of followers, quote unquote, as if that's, some
It's
massive
An accomplishment.
It's a useless metric.
yeah.
It's a useless
but,
metric. Almost none of my followers are online.
Right, and
regularly
to be
anymore.
fair, it's not like we signed on to the site and we had 1,000 followers already. I mean, so it would just like Pencil said, it would beg the question, like, we started from the same place. Like, I mean, God,
Started from the bottom, now we here.
people. I remember my first stories here, which I was too pussy to leave up years ago, and now I have no idea where they are, so I can't re-upload them and redeem myself on that. But people stayed for that shit somehow. I paid my dues on that respect. I wrote garbage, and all that to say, I mean, right for you, but at the same time, if you really just want to get into the feature box, if that's your only metric of success, well, write something people want to read. But
Yeah.
even then, that's not really a healthy way to go about it.
Are you guys
Right,
basically
shitty flaming garbage.
are you guys
Going
basically
on.
just saying skill issue?
Yeah, I'm saying skill issue.
All,
I'm
all
saying
I hear
skill
is you
issue.
guys saying skill issue.
This site is the goddamn Elden Ring, that hit game from Software. So you
It's
know
true.
what? Get
Some
fucking
people build amazing like Anon Celestia builds like RunicTreetops, and then you have degenerates over here like me with Sonic and Rainbow Dash have a religious experience and just like.
Hey, you and me on that one. We both did that. You give me
That's
my
true.
credits.
I
I'm
will
all for that.
Yes.
I will say one time it was kind of funny because while I still write and do everything, I'm beyond the stage of where I'm publishing a new story like, every 2 months or something, right? Or every
Girl,
month.
same.
Yeah, I'm beyond that. I'm still updating things. A new story idea will occasionally come to me and I'll put something, whatever. I do remember, I don't want to say it was 6 months ago, maybe sometime earlier this year, that someone commented something. I commented on a story and then someone's like, wow, you have a lot of followers. You must have you must be pretty well known, as if they didn't know me at all. Like no one did. I'm like, wow, it has been some time. Like we've faded into obscurity anyways. It ain't the end all be all in the feature box. So
The name Anon Pencil is unknown to most people at this point now. I would argue that RunicTreetops right now, I bet if you dropped that name, more people would know who Runic is than they would know who I am. And that's okay.
Absolutely.
Me too, honestly, to be
People would
completely
be
fair.
people would be fighting to bring you drinks at like a fanfic writer party at a convention.
Oh yeah, Runic. Oh yeah.
I would assure you people know the names of my OCs more than they remember my name. I'm going to be completely fucking honest.
1000%. All right. We've jerked ourselves off enough. Oh, we're halfway through the cast. What have we done?
No, we're doing good. We just needed to let all our audience know and Runic know in big capital letters that there's no shame in being in the feature box unless you make it shameful. Multiple times.
All right. Then we're going to take a very quick second to talk about our charity and our charitable contributions and address that hype train, which thank you, Empty Plot Filler and Moose Tasm, for donating 200 bits.
And Burgess.
And Burgess for donating their bits as well. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. All of our bits, all of the Patreon money that we take, and I feel like there's another monetary source that we have. Oh, YouTube ads go 100% to Red Wings Horse Sanctuary, which Anon Pencil and I need to go visit here sometime soon. What can you tell us about Red Wings, Pencil?
Red Wings Horse Sanctuary is a place where horses who are mistreated or have to be rehomed suddenly, or maybe their owners can't care for them anymore, or their land is taken out from under them for some of the wild ones, can be relocated to. Also, thank you, Empty Plot Filler, for that 1,000 bits. That's amazing. That'll help horses. Our donations go to help them with their hoof trims, getting medication, getting food, getting groomed, basically giving them a happy and healthy life. So any money you give to us goes straight to them. You can also look them up online, make sure they're legit. We sponsor a horse there, and his name is Lil Bit, and Flamus and Enigma have had the pleasure of meeting the little thing.
That is correct. He is a feisty little fellow whom is affectionately referred to as Little Shit by everyone there.
Perfect for our horse.
He bit me.
No,
I love this horse.
Oh man, I'm really excited. I do hope that sometime here soon, Pencil and I can actually go visit the horse. I'd love to do it with Flam and Enigma too, but it depends on the weekend, and logistics is a nightmare.
We need to post you can either donate bits or you can donate through our Patreon, and I don't have our Patreon link immediately available. Hopefully Mo can take care of that and post it in the chat, and you can donate there if you'd like to donate. I think that's it.
Oh, we should add one thing, because there actually has been a charity thing recently, not getting into specifics. But if you would like to donate directly to the source, to Red Wings themselves, rather than going through us as a medium, that's absolutely fine. Just tell them we sent you. So, that said, we're here for Runic, believe it or not. Let's get into asking some questions. Moostasm. Oh, memes. We're back to memes. Okay. If you were the very model.
Runic, are you back? Are you good to go for some more? Round 2?
I'm okay. Yep.
Hey, let's go.
Let's do this. If you were the very model of a modern major general, would you have information primarily A, animal, B, vegetable, or C, mineral?
I'm not positive I completely understand the question, but I'm going to go with mineral.
Fair enough. What is that a reference to? Like which musical?
Pirates of Penzance.
Yes.
It's a song.
Number 2. If you could replace any famous piece of existing artwork with one of your own creations, what would you replace with what? And how is history irrevocably altered?
I'm replacing the bean in Chicago with a colored pencil drawing of Rouge the Bat I did at the age of 8. The only way history has changed is that piece of art is lost in the wind, and Anish Kapoor gets slightly less clout.
Hey, any way we can allow Anish Kapoor to get less clout, I'm very happy.
I did want to go see the Bean when I was recently there on a tour. I did not get to see the Bean. It was
That's
wet,
okay.
so the bean was moist.
Good job. And also, you did not support Anish Kapoor, which is
Yes.
good. I hope. And if you guys don't know who Anish Kapoor is, please look it up. I love that Runic made a reference to Anish Kapoor here. So yay.
Greater Glory is up next with probably my favorite picture of Luna I've seen in a long time. Women or no women?
Women.
Yay! What about
10
wine
out of
and
10.
song?
I'm not sure I understand that question. I'm going to say yes to wine and song, I guess.
So wine, women, and song. Got it.
Yes.
Good, thanks.
Mugany, cast favorite, and also our previous guest, is up next with a whole slew of questions for you. Be sure to hit refresh. Milk, looks like you have already. Love you. Number 1, will you give me advice? It doesn't have to be any specific advice. It can be writing advice or advice on how to talk to girls. I don't give a fuck.
Serious advice. If you have someone you care about, tell them. You won't always be able to. Non-serious advice. If you're playing Super Mario RPG, be sure to jump on Toad's head when you first get into Peach's castle, because doing so will allow you to get onto a special ledge to get a frog coin, and it's missable if you don't do it in that particular instance, unless you're playing the remake.
Okay, what do you think of the remake?
Haven't played it. I need to.
I really want to play it. I never played the original, and
I love
I've
the
always
original.
wanted to. And I don't know anything about Gino, and he touches my edgy little heart. So,
Gino for Smash.
yes, Gino for Smash, please. Let's do it. Number 2, have you ever gotten a kill streak so high that it gave you a boner, putting you in fear of your own megalomania?
One time I boarded an enemy galleon in Sea of Thieves, and I killed the whole crew 4 times over without dying, and that was basically the best moment of my entire life. So,
Yo!
amazing.
Congratulations.
Sea of Thieves is so good!
I do enjoy that game.
I could never get a group together that had their shit together that was more than like 2 people. Like, I would get in a group of like 4, but then like 2 people had never played before. So you try to give them like real basic stuff, and then when you fight against another galleon, they just swamp you.
Okay,
It's fun.
next time you gotta invite me, Priest, because I know what to do in that game.
Good. I'm happy you did, because I was one of the new people.
If you ever see the leaky dinghy or the merry-go out on the ocean, that's probably me.
I just liked going around with the pride flag. All right. Number 3, breasts, thighs, or legs?
Breast.
Hell yeah.
I'm a chest man. Ironically, because
man.
ponies don't have that, but you know.
What if? Okay. Question. What if ponies had boobs and they were on the chest? Like, what if suddenly ponies grew like human breasts on the front of their chest?
What does this have to do with chicken?
No. Not. That'd be a little strange. I'm much more happy with the idea of the chest being floofy.
But then you can pinch nipples and kiss at the same time.
Yes. Also,
okay.
Watching them walk from point A to point B would be a little unnerving.
And the Pegasi have some feathers between the cleavage.
Well, to also be fair, assuming we're talking meme status, where there's still 4 legs, and then suddenly have tits on their actual chests. Well,
yeah.
I mean, technically, Pencil, you could still kiss and pinch nipples if they're in their normal place. You know, if you have the proper attitude about it.
If they're a normal size of horse, you genuinely could not reach. If they're an actual pony size.
Well, that's also that's like a question. How canonically big are we talking the actual ponies are?
God.
Because
remember.
There's a few schools.
I
of thought
remember the
that-
candy cane measurement. I remember that thing. You
What
guys
the
remember
fuck
that
is a
shit?
candy cane measurement?
Yeah,
Oh,
I remember
somebody.
that too.
Oh yeah, I
Oh,
remember it.
thank you, Runic. Oh, it was somebody canonically in the show. Pinkie Pie mentions the height of a candy cane, and a pony is seen next to the candy cane. So we have a canon size for ponies. Was it Scootaloo?
Yes. Okay.
I
yes.
remember what
Yeah,
you're
it was
talking about.
Scootaloo
Yeah.
licking the candy cane, and she got her tongue stuck to it.
And so we have a canonical size.
And what was the ballpark?
Ah.
Are they bigger than we expected or smaller than we expected?
I think. Well, I mean,
Scootaloo was
also,
like 2 foot in that image.
yeah. So Scootaloo is small, but like you have to.
That seems about right.
I always
So it
imagine
means-
them as like the size of big dogs.
Well, according just based on this, basically, we're talking like 4 foot high ponies.
I'm gonna go with Word of God, which is perfect cuddling size. That's the size they are.
Like, Twilight, if angry, could definitely stab you with her horn right in the belly button, straight through your body.
Also, Treble Shoes is a goddamn legit horse.
Well, I'll put it this way: you guys know how tall I am.
Yeah.
Imagine that a pony's head comes up to my shoulders.
Yes.
That's how high pony is.
Accurate.
I would give it my best college try then.
I disagree.
I mean-
unless it's Celestia.
I mean, Celestia's big. Celestia big.
Yeah, no, Celestia better be big, but Twilight better not be that big.
No, Twilight, no big.
Is Troubleshoes actually as big or bigger than Celestia?
He is huge.
I
He's
don't
a legit
know.
horse.
That fucker's just a draft horse at that point. Like,
Yeah, he is a draft horse.
That's a match I have not seen on FanFiction.
He's a draft horse, no remorse. Alpha Charlie. Damn it.
Are you
and
done?
If you did, and if you disagree, your mom's a horse.
Anyway. Anyway. What's the next question?
Number 4, I'm referring to the best parts of a chicken, you sicko. Okay, thank you! Because last time it took me too long to realize we were talking about parts of people, and I thought we were talking about food.
That's still an awkward question to ask about Scootaloo.
Whoa, based.
All right. Number 5, just kidding. The chicken is anthro. What part of the chicken?
For fuck's sake.
What part of the chicken would you fuck?
Cloaca.
Well, now it's okay.
Yes. Good man.
You seek the cloacussy.
What if during she just starts forcing an egg out?
I wrote that story. I literally wrote this story. It's called Flipping the Bird. I wrote this story.
For me personally, it would be like those scenes in Dragon Ball Z where like their two beams are like trying to push each other back and forth. It's gonna be like that.
I prefer not to hurt the hypothetical anthropomorphic chicken.
But they consent. They consent.
But what if during she's like, is that the best you got, punk?
I would. I assuming that I would understand this to be consent, I'm gonna do my best.
What if while she's on top, she just starts picking at you?
Don't go for the eyes.
That's what she usually says. Anyway.
All right, the next question, I'm going to take the one from chat, from Bergies. Question for Runic, thoughts on the Clockwork Ponies?
I think this is likely a reference I don't understand, but if this is simply a hypothetical of a automaton pony, that sounds rad.
Oh, cool.
Apparently,
Sorry, I don't know what it's referring to.
No. There's a whole. This is a whole. Actually, this is a big rabbit hole. As I've been googling it right here.
Oh, it's a huge rabbit hole.
Yeah, so there's a fan game that was taken down, and I don't think that this is related to the Clockwork Society, which is something that I remember on Film Fiction as like a kink group. Clock Tower Society. My bad. No, that's completely different. No, Clockwork.
Very,
Puppets are
very different.
Okay. All right. Let's go to the next question. Wait, so since chickens are bipedal, does that make all chickens anthro? God damn it, Muggany.
No,
Behold a man.
exactly. Behold a man.
Yes.
Yes, behold a man.
We're just going to talk
Enter-
Diogenes in this chat now. Yes.
Anthro is a vibe, and chickens don't have that vibe. Unless they are actual anthro chickens.
Answer chickens can get it, but I agree. Just a regular chicken, nah, fam.
The only thing they're getting is chicken feed.
If you don't get those jokes, you're going to need to Google Diogenes or take. Would that be in classics pencil?
Yes.
Or would that? Okay.
As a classics minor, yes.
Okay. All right,
Yeah,
number 7.
Get out of my son, Alex.
Okay, but would you fuck a de-evolutionized chicken, also known as a T-Rex?
Yes.
I think if you can manage to fuck a T-Rex without dying, it's probably consensual.
We're taking the McAfee approach.
Yeah. It's one of those things where, like, if the T-Rex really wanted you to stop, it would have fucking ended you a time ago.
That alone was the greatest tweet by McAfee. Look, those of you getting mad saying I fucked a whale because it couldn't consent, look, it is a massive creature. If it let me, it consented.
Oh, and naturally, someone in the chat has now brought to the attention that the most popular anthro chicken is Chica from FNAF.
Yeah,
fair enough.
Yeah.
That wouldn't, because it's debatable that constitutes a child.
Ew.
Oh,
You know.
God.
Oh, yeah, based on lore, that's right.
Ew, no. Let us continue.
But that's just a theory. Okay, is a T-Rex anthro, number 8.
No, but a T-Rex can be anthro.
Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
Let's cut to the chase. Fuck, kill, marry between KFC, Popeyes, and Chick-fil-A.
Fuck KFC, kill Chick-fil-A, marry Popeyes.
I like this choice. Good job.
For this. How your day?
My day, goods.
Yay. Hopefully we haven't made it worse.
I'm enjoying myself.
Yeah.
Bonus questions that they couldn't fit in with the bits. If I were to read some of your stories, which ones would you personally recommend?
I really like The Hermit and its sequel. It's a very short story, but I very much like The Sound of Rain. I was in a very specific mood when I wrote that, and I'm very happy with how it turned out. The Royalty series, I think, is still my magnum opus. I don't typically just say, oh, read that, because it's like a 12-work series, so it's, and it's not really one story. It's kind of cheating, but those are all pretty fun. People really like Bedbug. I mean, I am proud of it. I didn't expect it to be as popular as it was, but that might be a good place to read as well.
Have you seen Invincible Season 2?
I haven't seen Invincible Season 1.
If anyone's seen it, please don't spoil. Please don't spoil.
Yeah, please no spoilers.
I need to watch it.
Same. And number 3, would you rather eat a leaky ass or drink period blood?
Period blood.
Okay, it's time for anatomy with pencil.
Okay.
So there's a lot of reasons why you should have period blood instead of fecal matter. For one thing, fecal matter is a great way for you to get something called pinworms. I'm not going to explain any further, just you don't want that in your life. It's also a good way to get bacterial infections. It's a great way to cause all of your internal flora to go bad. You don't want fecal matter in your body. You don't. Period blood, on the other hand, guess what that's got in it? It's got a huge amount of iron and a decent amount of fiber. Shocker, I know. Is it good for you? Not exactly, but also it's not bad for you. Some of the human stomachs out there have a lot of trouble processing blood, and even though period blood isn't the same as, say, cutting open a vein and drinking blood straight, it's still a little rough on the stomach. So a recommendation would be, if you're going to drink period blood, maybe use it as a thickener for a soup or cook it first. It will become kind of like a gelatin, so you might end up something kind of pudding-like. The Brits can tell you all about that, ain't that right, Alex? So basically, if somebody ever asks you poop or period blood, as gross as blood might seem, that's always the right answer. This has been Anatomy with Pencil.
Said another way, ladies and gentlemen, do not take the muddy road home. Ride the Red Sea.
I'm throwing up right now. And you cannot-
Anon is supporting Red Wings. We're going for our Red Wings here, guys.
Red Wings! Red Wings!
I hate all of you, except Runic. Runic's done nothing wrong. I hate
Thank you.
But speaking of doing nothing wrong, Anon Pencil, your questions are up next. Would you like to ask them?
Think I would. And just to let people know, we're coming to the end of our thread right now. We will have a little bit of extra time at the end. So I will post the thread one more time. If you have any questions, you can go to the link in the chat right now, and you can post any final questions. Now is the chance you have. You can do it, and we will ask it. We will get to your questions. So feel free to do that. Now, Runic, you ready for my questions?
Sure.
What would you whisper into a vagina?
Oh dear. Excuse me. Is my crow still alive in there?
I have questions, but the next question is, what would it whisper back?
Ideally, there would be a caw.
Follow-up question. Why is there a crow in a vagina?
To check for noxious gases.
Don't you usually use a canary? Don't you usually use a canary for that?
I've never tried to train a canary. I've tried to train a crow.
So what you're saying is crows would be better at spelunking and Vagu than canaries?
Yes. I'm
Okay.
gonna stick to that now. That's what I've proposed.
So, go on.
There is some weird sort of logic to what you're saying.
I'm dying.
And I hate it. So,
They can solve complicated puzzles. So
are you saying they'd find the G-spot?
yeah.
Well, I mean, if you got to send somebody in there to find it for you, you could do worse than a crow. Runic, I feel like we've been a terrible influence on you today, and I'm not sorry, but I hope it's okay.
So long as it doesn't reflect on my writing, sure. If you see something extremely raunchy come out in my writing, that's not my 69th fic that I wrote because it was my 69th fic. Feel free to take all the credit.
Oh, cool! Thanks. If you write about a crow being put into Celestia's vagina to try to go find the sun or something, just give me like a idea credit or something. That's all I ask.
Sure.
The horror twist ending that no one sees coming is that when it's time to retrieve the crow, instead of a call, you hear a
Oh, I hate this.
Oh no, that's the worst ending for her. Oh no.
When you try to take it out, it just says nevermore and goes in deeper, and it lives there forever.
Why would it cluck though? Wouldn't it crow?
At least there's a cock in there.
No, but wouldn't it be the opposite, Pencil? If you would you do it again for me? Nevermore, and then it would go away.
And you may find yourself asking, how did I get here? More questions for me. Exactly.
Water running underground.
It's not the line. It's okay. So next question: bees.
Yes.
Good. Yes. How many bees, though?
As many as is healthy for the environment and not in my immediate vicinity. I'm allergic.
Oh, I'm sorry you're allergic to bees. Are you also allergic to honey by chance?
Not that I know of.
Interesting. That's not like a bad thing or anything. I'm just very curious. Huh. Okay.
I can't say I eat
So
a
be
lot of honey, so I mean maybe I am. It's been a hot minute since I've had some honey.
okay. Well, I mean, so we'll keep the bees away from you, but we'll have enough bees. Genuinely, you have a very iconic milestone coming up as far as how many stories you've written. I know we've talked about it a little. Do you have any idea about what your 100th will be? And do you have any pomp and circumstance and fanfare you're expecting to kind of celebrate, whether it be a blog post or some fan art or something like that?
So yes, I do know what the story will be. It's like 75% done. It's called This Carousel, based on a Persona song. Haha. And
Another one.
it is very much a I'm celebrating my own works, which is very that feels conceited, but also I don't know. It's my 100th story. I can write what I want.
Yes, you can.
It was very difficult for me to come up with an idea because for me the ideal 100th fic is what I already did in my fics Error 503 and Error 504. And I'm very proud of those, but I already made them. So coming up with this idea was very different. But I don't know. I think there's going to be jokes that fly over people's heads because if someone just hops in and tries to read the 100th fic, it exists to be my 100th fic. So there's going to be references in the sort that people generally aren't going to get, which is fine. Beyond that, no, I don't like. I will probably make a blog post about it just because it's a fun milestone. But other than that, I don't plan to. You know, I don't have. I'm not sure what else I would do. Like here's a fun 100th fic celebrating my other fics. As a writer, that's about what I can do in the way I can do it.
You know, and that is okay. Are you excited?
Yes.
Is it mostly
yes.
dread right now?
It's less. I'm gonna be I'm gonna be completely honest with this. The dread isn't from I'm 100 fics in. The dread was I would feel weird if my 100th fic wasn't a story celebrating the fact that it's my 100th fic. Which almost makes me feel obligated to do it. So I'm glad I eventually came up with an idea. But I'm excited to be done with that idea so I can get back to writing stupid shit I think of.
Yeah, I hear the dread in your voice here. I hear quite a bit of dread. But that's okay. And of course, another very serious question: what is the optimum number of holes for a face? Important, I know.
3.
Interesting. Explain your
I'm
word.
gonna say 3. The gyroids in Animal Crossing have 3, and they're still identifiable as faces. So
that's the
I'll say that's
optimum number, not minimum, but optimum. That is the best number.
I see a gyroid. I think that's a face. They accomplish what they need to, and nothing more. I'd say that's optimal. No waste.
I think they're pronounced Uroid.
Oh my fuck! No, God, Enigma, please no. I can't believe you made that. God damn it. Well, that's my questions. Back over to you, Priest. We have some questions from the chat that are behind the counter for you.
We do, and I wanted to ask, just making sure everyone gets a turn. Flam, not only do you have the next post in the thread, but would you like to ask the 3 questions that our chat have queued up?
Yes, they should be in the appropriate chat.
Yeah, we got behind the counter and in the thread.
There we go. Huzzah! So that is the Prophet Fire. Nice name. So Oh, here's one for Runic. If you found yourself in Equestria, let's say Canterlot, and the first pony you see is Celestia, let's say she's like in your story, what's your reaction? Blackout, perhaps?
I've never blacked out. I am going to lose all of the spaghetti that was in my pockets.
Mm.
Yeah, I would love to say like, oh yeah, I'd walk right up to her and make my wildest dreams come true. No, I'd stutter and be creepy and probably get arrested.
Probably get why? How and why arrest? I must know.
In this specific instance, I am apparently an alien that is now approaching the leader of a nation. That doesn't tend to go over too well.
I mean,
I
this
mean,
is pretty true.
she could probably handle it. It's Celestia. She'd probably like see this as an opportunity for some sort of like foreign relations, right? Diplomacy shit.
Her, yes. The Royal Guard, probably less so.
Oh yeah, fair.
Would you be like, hey, I wrote you in my stories, because if I was there, I'd be like, hey, I put you in a couple of my stories, and you have some fat ass.
Would you actually, Flam, though? Would you actually? Would you have the
Look,
balls?
It is
Look, here-
customary.
Listen here, y'all. If I wake up and I'm in a fucking cartoon horse land that I recognize and I have no amnesia or anything, I'm gonna assume that this is just some really bad lucid dream, and I'm gonna take full fucking advantage of that. I'm be like, yeah, you got some fat ass and fat titties in my story, and I
It is
am not
cu-
sorry about that.
It is customary in my people for me to follow
Yes.
those cheeks.
Yeah, there you go. Then I will get arrested.
I would try to hide the fact that I've written stories about her, and then she'd do the Celestia thing and like look at me and not say something, but like it's like that knowing look, and it just makes me more nervous until I spill the beans completely unprompted, and then everyone's uncomfortable.
And then she's reading all your stories by nightfall.
And she's horrified.
Like low key, I think I'd actually handle it fairly well. Like if I woke up in Cartoon Horse World, I'd have to be like, okay, cartoon logic applies. That's cool. I'm gonna have to survive here. Time to put on my best manner hat and be very honest and use the gift of gab to get anything I want from this place. I think I'd do okay.
What would suck is if you were like super handicapped, you show up and they're not even speaking English. It just sounds like nays and whinnies to you.
Mine's a Cora.
Yeah, but if that's the case, I know how to like deal with actual horses. So then I'm fine too.
Yeah, you just start counting by using your foot.
You see, Enigma, I think you would struggle the most because suddenly you're surrounded by horses, and they're big horses.
It's true.
Like,
I think you would really have a bad time.
Are you referring to that video where you said it looked like I was nervous that I was petting the horse?
Yeah, you looked fucking terrified of a horse.
They can bite you.
Yes, I know. So can humans. Your point.
If Celestia asks me for a hug, I'll just be like, and she's just like, would you like a hug? I'll be like, call me Mr. Hands, because yes.
Oh, God.
With that horrifying reference, what's the next question? God damn it. Okay, yes.
Please move, Flam. Please.
That's just pleading, so I'll have to. Next question from Burgess, I believe. MLP has a rather eclectic mix of tech, from Twi's science setup to trains and such. What technology would you see go from niche or non-existent to widely used?
This is a problem I always fail to address properly in my stories, because it's like, on one hand, do these ponies know what a computer is? I want to say no, but then Button Mash was playing an arcade game. So,
Gen 5 has computers.
Gen 5, sure, but I think the assumption is that there's, a lot of time between Gen 4 and 5. I know people have tried to like math out how long. I don't really care what the number is. It's arbitrary.
Well, here's an interesting one. Don't forget, Twilight has a whole setup in her basement that's computers and wires and brain scanners, so they definitely have computers to some degree.
Yeah, and a chair with straps on it, if you remember that.
Oh.
I do recall that, yes. I don't know. I'm gonna say some type of long range communication. Not maybe not necessarily like a telephone. It could potentially be more like magic related. But I feel like that'd be something they go for, considering how frequently that would be a problem in a fantasy setting like that. Because not everyone has a spike to send a magic letter.
Yeah, that would be handy.
You just made me realize that Spike has no role in G5 now. He's been replaced by phones.
Ha! I mean, good, but
They made a joke about it too. How are we gonna tell her? Well, we have cell phones.
dear God.
I love it.
All right. And then Empty Plot Filler asks, if you could have any of your stories made into a major production or movie, animated series, whatever, which would it be?
Royalty series by Studio Trigger.
Ooh,
Ooh.
I love it.
The finale of that was directly inspired by Gurren Lagann. That is my dream animation.
So your pony's drills will pierce the heavens.
Yes.
And when ponies combined, you just cram one into the side of the head of another one.
Yes. Yep.
Oh,
Yeah. Well, we'll say yes.
that's also horrifying. Good job.
It's not that Gurren Lagann doesn't have problems, but
It's what the horns
Oh
do.
no. Yeah, that's what the horns for. Jesus. Okay. Yeah, it's just a plug and play. Let's go.
Beautiful. All right. Well, and I guess I have the last question. There was two, but one's already been answered. So, is there a story that you want to see written that hasn't been written? And if so, what's stopping you from writing it?
Ooh.
Well, that's a difficult question because every story that I've wanted to see written, I've written. That's
You've
all of my
actually
stories.
done it.
Very famously. What did I call it? Well Off to Visit Your Mother. I think I called it. Was
Beautiful.
a story about a much older widowed anon, having a very tame and emotional romantic sort of run-in with an equally widowed Twilight Velvet, because all fan works I could find that have both of those characters involved are not wholesome, and I wanted to see that. I suppose a story I want to see written that hasn't been written. I tried writing a shorter form crossover with One Piece once, and I didn't publish it ever because it was really bad. I'd like to see that written, and what's stopping me from writing it is I would either have to extend the scope beyond what I felt would make for an entertaining story, or all the characters would be caricatures of themselves and not actually entertaining in any way.
Would the story be good by the 700th chapter?
Well, One Piece is, so maybe.
Are we judging things by the metric of One Piece? So, like, that what we're doing?
That do seem to be the recent trend.
I was just in it for the meme, but fair enough. You've written most of what you wanted to see written. That's great.
Oh no, yeah. So basically, when someone says like, "Well, if you want that so much, why don't you write it?" You said, "Okay, bastard," and you fucking did it.
That is precisely what I did. Yes.
Fan fucking tastic.
I only did that once, and that was with the Metroid crossovers. I didn't find any others that I liked, so I created my own. And I look back on it today, and I'm like, wow, motherfuckers actually stayed for this shit. So now I'm doing it the quote unquote right way, and I will say the same thing in 10 years' time.
Now we have an interesting question from chat, which I think is an actually pretty good one. Priest, would you like to ask it?
Absolutely. What is your take on AI-generated material? So far, the art is hit or miss, but how long until it's producing passable stories?
Ooh, I have conflicting feelings about this. I have. Oh, okay. So I do programming professionally. That's what I do when
Okay.
I'm not writing.
I'm right here with you.
Sort of there too.
So I have opinions on AI, and I have a sort of I have such a love-hate relationship with the idea of like AI generated stuff. Because on one hand, I've long been of the opinion that we shouldn't try to like temper the advancement of technology. Like AI is going to get better, and I don't think we should stop it from doing that. On the other hand, I I get it. Like I see a lot of people like generate AI stuff, and it's like, wow, that's um good in quotations, but it feels extremely disingenuous. Like I like it as a tool to be used in non-serious instances. Like one story I made, I don't remember what it was called. Delicate Sky, that's it. That one does have an AI generated cover because whenever I wrote it, I had no money and couldn't commission anyone to draw the OC and didn't think any other character would work as the cover art. So I did that. And I stated it was AI generated in the description because I wanted to make that clear. I think I sent a message to Wanderer to make sure that was okay as well before I did it. And like I've used AI generated art for like Dungeons and Dragons and the sort because who cares? It's whenever it goes anywhere beyond that, like into any sort of professional space where it becomes a problem. I think because you don't want you don't want AI generated material in this case like stories to replace what's being made by people. And while I think at least now especially there's most people can understand the difference in quality between like actual writing with passion behind it and something made by a computer. Um, that might not always be the case, and B, I'm more concerned with quantity than quality because if you look at the front page, and I mean I know AI material is banned on FimFic, but hypothetically speaking, if you were to look on the front page and like 9 out of the 10 stories are AI generated, at that point it's just clutter. Like how do you it's hard to identify what isn't, and that's another problem. So generally speaking, I don't want to partake in AI generated like writing of the sort. I'd rather do something. I'd rather read something that has passion behind it, even if the AI generated is exactly what I want. But I think the technology is interesting, and I'm not all that qualified to make a professional statement about it.
I heard a really great. I think you really kind of hit it on the head. Where once you kind of begin moving into professional creative spaces, where it's like professional artists or that are like making movie posters or professional animators that are making things for movies or books and stuff, and it hits a point where you don't know what is AI generated and what is not. That's a big problem. But on the other hand, I heard an amazing take the other day where there's research on AI trying to make really good and believable honeypots for like people that are trying to either buy or become hitmen or sell illegal materials or stuff. And so being able to take a human person out of like that incredibly disturbing possible sting operation is really cool in my opinion. But once you begin moving into creative spaces, that's not the jobs that I want to see get taken by AI.
Mm-hmm. It's such a blurry line because like there's the frequent opinion of like AI is great until it causes people to lose their jobs, but then I think of like there's a whole lot of like really dangerous and strenuous like factory and mining jobs, especially in a lot of poor places where it's like, do we really want to not replace those jobs with like machines that aren't thinking and feeling and just as the good at doing the job? But then like where do you draw the line between a job that should or shouldn't be replaced by an AI? It's a question I'm certainly not prepared to answer.
There are jobs that
Well,
definitely people don't want, but that doesn't necessarily mean we should take it away.
What was
I've
that, Ralph?
got two interesting little bits about this. So, two things. The first one is you won't have to worry about AI taking over art so much I heard something recently that there's so much AI art out there now that the AIs that are not screening for what art to take in are using other AI art, and thus it's creating more artifacts and destroying the what they call it, the algorithm that they use to build the
Oh,
art with.
they're Habsburging themselves. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So it's literally slitting its own throat as far as like how to make art because it's pulling from itself, and so it's recreating those artifacts. Case in point, my second point is I actually recently got into using AI to create reference material for myself. And I've been on that kick for like the last 3 or 4 days, and I've come up with a few hundred actually really, really cool or interesting images just to give me some ideas for some stuff that I want to do. And a couple of them are really on the money, but most of them are so far off base that I actually can't get the exact image that I want because I can't figure out the parameters to make it repeat something or to do something specific. So it's not like AI is completely capable of destroying creativity. So um case in point, right? I was trying to retool a character that I had for a long, long time, and I was going to turn her into a Doulahan. Well, the AI art generator doesn't understand what that is. It doesn't understand how to remove the neck from a character and to make a floating head or a separate head. And I've put in all kinds of prompts: headless horseman, the actual Doulahan, no neck, blah 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 blah. So AI is not unlimited, and it cannot absolutely take away from the people, from artists and whatnot. And the same goes for writing. There's certain things that it just can't do.
Uh,
From a writing standpoint, long ago, I will be a little bit honest about my work. Long ago, I actually interviewed somebody who was big in the AI tech industry. This is probably about a decade ago. This is a long time ago. And they started talking about how soon AI would be good enough to write the next Harry Potter books or write the next novels so that people could spend their times doing things more useful. And I remember hearing them say that on camera. And I clutched my chest, and like the interviewer kind of laughed and pointed out to me because I was a writer, just like, oh, but you could do other things. And it's like, there's this sense, I think, by a lot of the people who are at the head of making this technology, not the people, the engineers actually creating, but the people pushing for it, who don't see the value in artists or writers. They see it as a frivolous pastime that if they can be replaced, it can be replaced. More people can do more things. That's where I take the issue, is not with the AI itself, but is that in a large way, it has been created by people who don't see the value in what I do, who don't see the value in what Rav does. And it's that kind of dismissal and complete out of touchness that really bothers me about AI, because it's coming from a place that lacks understanding of what it's even making. Will AI eventually get to the place where it can write novels and can create beautiful paintings? Yes. I don't see it ever replacing artists or writers in full, though, because there is a passion to create. There is a passion to make things. And AI can create and learn and grow, but the human mind is always going to be capable of saying, I have love and passion for something and I'm going to create it. So we're never going to be forced out. I truly believe that, especially if it's going to continue to be pushed on the highest level by people who completely do not understand why it is people create. And that's that.
See, I have a degree of fascination too, and maybe this kind of bubbles off what Rab said earlier. But like with AI, inherently, it needs its reference material, right? It needs its like original artist that it is taking from in order to create something. Which is why I found it absolutely fascinating when Rab said, like, using the AI generated material to inspire or create something completely new based on what was output. And that's something that AI can't necessarily do well in its current state, is the idea of a new idea. Like to elaborate on the Harry Potter making a new Harry Potter book or a new Harry Potter movie, it's only as good as the reference material it put in. And even then, all that's going to be made is just another like Harry Potter / Shawshank / whatever was input into it movie. And I don't think that there is a lot of value in taking this idea where it's like, you can see it with Marvel, where like too many movies are the same and people are getting frustrated and burnt out by it. And if you got to a point where Marvel's like, all right, let's just put all of our movies into an AI and output, arguably that you're just going to be getting more of the same, and you're not going to get that fresh new take, that fresh new idea that it makes the art of digesting creative work like so interesting and so enjoyable.
Well, and something just occurred to me. The way I just explained it of the AI fucking itself over, it's actually very, very similar to the way an artist learns. Like, you learn from people that you admire that are better than you. Like, I would be a horrible artist if I did not have better artists to look up to. That being said, I have taken inspiration from people that I see as less skilled than I am, but I damn sure would not copy them because I know better. But AI does not know better. It's unsunning.
And just to be clear, I really want to stress this. And what I was saying about people being out of touch and not understanding, Runic, I am not talking about the engineers. I want to stress that because I'm not trying to point my finger at you on that. I'm not saying you're out of touch. I am very much not saying that.
No offense taken.
Excellent and good. I'm talking about people way above all of our pay grades. So, and also I hope that man, nothing but bad things about him. So that's fine. That's fine.
Screw that one person in particular.
Yeah, he's not a small name in the tech industry, so yeah, fuck him. But we've bantered on about that for a bit. Priest, are there any final questions you wanted to ask Runic to close out our cast?
Well, I think being at the point that we are, I think it is great to begin doing sort of our closing questions. Runic, with all these things in mind, what can we expect to see coming out of your FimFiction page in the upcoming future?
Yeah, and when?
Almost certainly stories that have Anon in them.
Yeah.
A few that don't. I am trying to branch out a little bit, but I like Anon. He's funny. A very, very long form story will come eventually. I will give a no time frame on that because I don't know what time frame that's coming on. Another story probably within a couple days. Otherwise, probably more of the same. What I've written is what I find fun to write, and I'm gonna keep doing that so long as I'm still having fun.
Yay! Love it. Also, with that said, if someone gets the opportunity to listen to this on Spotify or YouTube later on down the line, they're like, oh, I can't believe I missed the Runic interview. I really wanted to ask this question. What's the best way for them to get in touch with you? Maybe even for a collab?
Either through the FimFic messaging system or actually just like through Discord, to be honest. It's RunicTreetops on Discord as well. I don't have much of a presence anywhere else. I don't really want a presence anywhere else.
All right.
And for a first-time chatter, are you going to get more Anon Sunnyfic soon?
Sure. I like Sunny. And now there's more Sunny content to work with since Chapter 6 is out.
Woo.
Something about the sun.
I have to do Zip first, though. Just been on my list.
Excellent.
Zip, zap, zoom. Time to get it done. All right. Well, with that all said and done, I'd like to thank Empty Plot Filler for being today's top donator at 1,100 bits. Be sure to tune in next week for Milk. What are we doing next week?
Get me. I need a submarine, 400 paper towels, and a rock, and I'll tell you what we're doing.
We
Deal.
might do something party-ish. We'll see.
Hashtag party.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Then, with that said and done, thank you everyone for listening to this podcast. Your bartenders this evening have been a non-pencil,
Beep beep. I'm a Jeep.
enigmatic otaku, Flammenwerfer,
That is correct.
Milk,
No.
Ravage,
What?
our amazing guest, RunicTreetops,
Thank you.
and I am a shadow of my former self. Go away.